I put $20,000 on the line for a trade today. We're going to talk about that a little bit near the end after we go through the miners. Bitcoin miners had quite the dip today, but they weren't alone. A lot of the big boys also had a bit of a tumble today, but you know who held the line today? Yes, that's right. It was the small caps. I actually added to my position. But before we get going today, smash that like button, subscribe if you've been with us a while and haven't done so yet, or you're new here and you like what you see, and don't forget to check out the Trade Cave store on Etsy, link in the description, as well as the channel bio. We've got some lovely products here for you to check out. Go ahead and check that out today. Let's talk about the miners. They took quite the fall today. You see I have TeraWulf on the left. On the right here, I have all the miners. You got Mara was down 3.52%, Bitfarms down 1.18%, CleanSpark 3.62%, Bit Digital down 0.56%, Cypher 4.67% down, IREN 3.5% down, CORZ 3.56% down, WULF 7% down, getting dangerously close to that double-digit territory there for WULF. HUT down 5.8%. These things took quite the dive today. Let's begin taking a look at WULF here. So WULF came down to my first price target here today, and it stopped the day on it. It got a little bounce in after hours. You see it came all the way to the bottom of the ATR bands. So there is some room for upside here. Let's move down to like a 2-hour time frame, see what's going on there. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of room. So it could come up to potentially even like 428 before starting to go even further down on this thing. But I would be watching for the MACD to start curling up, which is the MACD has flattened out. Okay, so that's good. We are seeing a bit of a cross up, but we really want to see movement of the RSI on the 2-hour up and above that 50 line there for the RSI to start feeling pretty bullish about it. But I am still looking at, if we go to the daily, actually let's go to the weekly. If we go to the weekly, I am still looking at potentially coming down, yeah, as low as 317 on WULF before we see any real reprieve here from this fall off here, from this sell off. This is very aggressive, as you can see. Let's take a look also at IREN. IREN is another one that has been just sitting here in this area, my first buy zone area. In fact, it dipped almost down. Oh, it went a little bit below $9 today. So my put was in the money for a short period of time this morning on IREN, but the price did recover. It did pull back up here. We haven't quite touched the bottom of the ATR bands here down here, which is at 864, or the midline here for the fib bands, which is in pink there at 827. I am expecting to at least contact one of these two lines before we see real true turnaround on IREN. And I would be expecting to not get back into this, not really feel strength, not get back into it, but not really feel strong about it unless it turns back around and goes up over $10 from here, or it comes back down to my $8 level, right? It comes down to like into the 8s and then starts showing strength, or it shows that it can get up above $10. That's when I'd be looking at IREN again. Let me show you this. This is looking a lot like a falling wedge right here, right there. Right, there's one, and let's see if we can come here like this. That's very wedgy, very folly, and those tend to break to the upside, and they tend to break to the upside in a big way. Like it could come all the way up to this yellow line here at 1268 pretty fast if we break this upper trend line here. And let me just draw that out a little bit. There we go. I like that. All right, that's good. That's nice. Yeah, we break this one right here. Whoo, yeah, this is going to be nice. Until then, though, we can see ourselves continue to consolidate and fall and fall and fall and fall all the way down into the 8s. Before seeing this thing flip around now. But CORZ, what's going on with CORZ? I haven't seen a nice drop off CORZ in a while yet. I'm still seeing some bunching up here. It is still trying to hold this level here around that like 950-ish area, like 920 to 950. So I haven't seen it quite drop off yet. And honestly, I really don't see it dropping too much further than like 831 before trying to recover here on this one, unless we really see a sell-off. Like if we see it go past 831, we're coming all the way down to 611 on CORZ. So keep your eyes out on that. So we could come to 831 and bounce, but if we go through 831, yeah, we're going down to 611, and we're probably going to go there pretty quickly on CORZ. Let's see what else happened to Mara. Mara today came back to our most traded level here, back to it ended the day at 1973. Post it's 1992. Now we are expecting some earnings to come out for this. I believe it's on Thursday. I believe we're going to see that on Thursday. There is an expectation of a loss of 14 cents per share, so we'll see how that affects the market or not. I will wait till after earnings before I do anything with Mara, but I am looking to potentially get back into Mara for a move back up to like $27 to $30 on Mara here. I'm looking to take out some calls out to the end of the year for that one at some point in time here when I start feeling like it may be done falling and ready to turn back around. Clean Spark came back down to 1570. Back down. It's going to go back to 15 bucks. What can I say? It's going to find its way back to $15, and then we'll see what happens from there. It too is forming something of a falling wedge. You can see right here, wedge formation. There we go. There we go. On the daily here, just like that. We're kind of seeing a bit of a wedge formation coming down on Clean Spark, which is good. I like that. We've seen that before in a lot of these. Some of them look like megaphones, some more like wedges. This one's looking more like a wedge. And we can expect this to pop back up to about that $20, $21 range again when that comes back around once more. If you're like me, you've been holding this a while, it's starting to get a little bit old, this price action here. But I mean, if you've been running an IREN Condor ever since like the second one here, man, you've been making bank on this thing. That's not something I'm super comfortable with yet, so I haven't actually done that and I haven't been bothering with it yet. Let's take a look at Bit Digital. Bit Digital actually held at 350 level area. It came down to 340, then went right back up into 350. I would like to see Bit Digital to get out of this descending channel here and start moving back up. Otherwise, I may start saying, like, if it doesn't do this, saying like the next 2 weeks, if it can't get out of this descending channel, I might say that the summer runs over for Bit Digital, and that it may likely come back to $3, find a base, and then start charging back up from there. But it might be done with its current move right now. I feel very similarly about Bitfarms. Like 250 is kind of that line in the sand there. And if it breaks down under 250, honestly, like 243, if you see it get under there, yeah, I'd be looking for it to come back potentially all the way back down to $2, to be honest. And that would be, especially after that Riot offer blew up in Riot's face so much, just to see it come right back down to $2, that'd be kind of a slap in the face for the holders of Bitfarms. That would suck. But it could happen. That's something to pay attention to here. If we get underneath that 243 level, we very likely could find ourselves back down at $2 on Bitfarms, and that would be very unfortunate, especially for those of us that have been riding it up all the way from like this 160, 170 level. That's where I was picking it up. I was picking it all up between like $2 and 160. I picked up thousands and thousands of these things, and I rode it all the way up to 330 almost, and then it's just deflating from there. It couldn't even get to the top of the fib bands here, which is a little bit disappointing, not gonna lie, a little bit disappointing here. Again, same thing with Bit Digital. If it gets under that 243 level, I'm going to be saying that Bitfarms is likely done with its summer run, and like that's all we got. That's all she wrote. Let's take a look at HUT. HUT came down. It's looking a lot like WULF. It's going to want to come down. It hasn't quite got to the first buy zone yet that I have down here at 1397. I would like to see it get there before I have any interest in what's going on here. I do think it will continue to fall from here on that. From there, we might even see it come all the way down to like 1150 before starting to turn around. So I would be cautious at that first buy zone and not just jump right in. I would be looking for it to come potentially a little bit further down on HUT. Anyways, that is the miners today. Let's talk about my $20,000 trade, and I did it on none other than NVIDIA. So NVIDIA was down 7% today. That was quite the wake-up call this morning. We went outside of the daily ATR bands here, the lower band here, by a mile, and it closed down there. In the post-market, though, look at it's come up back up to 109.40 in the post market here, which is going to close in about 15 minutes. So what a rebound here. So let me tell you here. So let me show you what I don't have it to show real quickly, but I'm going to tell you because I took pictures and I can read it off real quick. Let's see here. So I sold a $107 put for August 30th for $736. Now that went all the way up in price to like $1,100. So I was down about $400 at the lowest point of the day, but now in after hours, I promise you, I'm actually profitable going into tomorrow morning when this thing opens. If it opens up above 109, yeah, I'll be feeling very good about that decision. So that was for $736 that I received for a 107 put, which is $10,700 on the line for that, where I may have to purchase 100 shares of NVIDIA for over $10,000 on that one trade. And the second one, so I did two of these. I did a $100 put on NVIDIA for August 9th, and I got $337 for that. So over $1,000 of premium just today from NVIDIA, putting up $20,700 on puts sold cash secured puts for NVIDIA today, where if it does close, so if on August 9th, the price of NVIDIA is under $100 by even 1 penny, I could be buying $10,000 worth of NVIDIA. If on August 30th, it is even 1 penny under $107, I could be buying over $10,000 worth of NVIDIA on that day as well. But that's okay because it's all part of the plan. We're going to go ahead and start selling puts if that does, calls if that does happen. So we'll start selling calls if that happens. And that's going to be very exciting because you know what? Calls on NVIDIA are even more expensive than puts. So that's sweet. I'm quite excited about that going as well. That's it. That's my $20,000 trade for the day. I put up $20,000 of capital to collect $1,000 today that I should have the majority of, honestly, in the next 2 days, at which point, you know what? At which point, I'm going to sell some more. So I'm going to close them. I'm going to buy them to close, and then I'm going to sell some more at some higher strike prices. So keep your eyes open for that kind of movement here from NVIDIA, especially if it breaks out of this descending channel. I'm going to get very aggressive. I'm going to be selling at the money puts just all the way up to 130, to be honest. So I'm actually pretty excited about this for NVIDIA. And I don't even care if I get signed. I will absolutely hold 100 shares of NVIDIA at $100. Be very happy with that. All right. So who held up against these guys? So we had that one, right? We had NVIDIA. Let's go down. Let's go down. We had NVIDIA. ARM was down 6% today. That was pretty brutal. This is a semiconductor stock as well, down 9% today. ACMR Research down 5% today. This is one I really want to talk about on the channel. I haven't had time to. They make cleaning products for silicone wafers, which is essential for semiconductor production. And they're one of very few companies that actually make products for this sort of thing. So they're very important. And if you look at who's buying them, you'd be much more excited about them, just like I am. So that's something I do want to talk about. Remind me in the comments, ACMR, talk about it, ACM Research, because I just haven't had the time to get around to it. There's so much going on. It's always so much drama around here. Can't things just chill out a little bit, please? Anyways, you can see Tesla was also down 4% today. Google eked out a little profit of 0.43%. Meta down about 0.5%. Amazon down almost 1%. Apple up 2.6%. Ooh, all right. So let's see, indicators. I should say indices. Excuse me. That should say indices. I cannot spell. So what's going on with the IWM or the Russell 2000? Oh, that's indicators. Yeah, that's right. That shouldn't say indices. This should say indices, and it does. I can spell. Look at me go. Okay, so IWM. So look at here. We got QQQ is down 1.37% today, and the SPY was down 0.5% today, right? But IWM was up 0.38%, and it's also up in after hours. If we bring this up, it's also up in after hours a tiny bit. IWM is holding on here. It's holding on tight up here. In fact, I kind of like this formation here because it kind of went up. It's starting to go sideways a little bit. It's consolidating a little bit. We see the RSI kind of cooling off a little bit. We see the MACD coming down, about to tap that signal line. If it doesn't cross that signal line, if it bounces off that signal line, you better believe I'll be looking for IWM to be coming up to like 235, 240 on this thing. And you know that I'm holding on to TNA, which is the triple leverage version of IWM. So every 1% up for IWM, I get 3. But wait, there's more. I've got call options on this bad boy out until January 2025. So I'm just sitting here, and every day we get a red candle, I am buying one more. They're a little bit expensive, about $1,000 or so for one, to all the way out to January. But I am looking to collect on the potential move that we're going to see in August here, and collect on that potential move we might see from the Fed coming out with a rate cut sometime in September, which would make this thing get very excited and potentially even see this thing go up towards, let's take a look at a 1 week move here. Potentially see this one come up. Oof, man, we can see this come all the way up to 74. If this thing goes to 74 here after a rate cut in September, the calls I have on this thing are going to be worth thousands. So I am trying to collect 5-6 of these things so that I can turn a quick $4,000 or $5,000 into something like $15,000. There's your mega return right there. Now, this is super risky and not financial advice, and of course, not a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. It's just what I've been doing as I see the writing on the wall and where this market is going. I see that the small caps are holding up strong while the Mag 7 are dumping. I see QQQ down 1.37% and TNA up. TNA up how much today? 1%. So basically the mirror opposite of the QQQ. And I am thinking, well, the money is moving from the big boys to the small boys, and I am going to make bank as it does that. Anyways, that is all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video, check out the Trade Cave store, and have a profitable day.